Hey, what is up, guys? Pittsburgh Weiss Schwarz back again with part 3 of the Konosuba Crimson Legend movie set review. Today we're going to be talking about Blue and my homegirl, Sylvia. And we got special guest, Billy.
What's up?
Pittsburgh's #1 Konosuba fan.
Too generous.
Union enthusiast.
Accurate.
Brian over here seething. Where's your max rarity deck?
Wasn't gonna say anything.
Wasn't gonna flex too hard. Alright, let's just jump right into it though. We're starting off with this Aqua in a kimono, like every other first card we've done so far. When your character's trigger check reveals a climax, choose one of your characters, give it 1,000 for the turn, and is a brainstormer, another rest self brainstormer. For each climax, search for an adventure or goddess character and add it to hand.
It's fine.
It's a decent brainstorm.
Better than Troublemaker for the goddess deck, I guess.
Is it better than the Megami Salvage?
Absolutely not. That's what I was going to get into, because the Megami Salvage one is adventure and magic trade at the same time, which means it itself gets hit on pretty much everything.
Yeah,
and then
everything.
It also salvages anything. It's not trait restricted at all. The only thing that this one is that this one has a relevant first effect no matter what deck you're playing if you're not playing a door. The only difference.
Yeah, I mean this thing, it's a good brainstorm. It's more than playable.
Yeah, it's kind of boring. I think it's just for goddesses, right? You would only play this in goddesses unless you were like, I don't know, maybe you split it as like a search brainstorm, like you Goblin Slayer split it, like a 2-1 split.
I don't think you'd split it if you're running a red deck, but I think it might breathe some new life into the goddess deck. The goddess deck was pretty strong, when it was just Konosuba set 1 before Megami got more support. Aqua deck was the big one people played, so the goddess stuff's still pretty solid, so maybe people will try playing that again.
Better to have a brainstorm that's like relevant past level 0 in your color. I guess level 1, right? It's unfair. It's relevant at level 1, but
yeah.
At least it is relevant all game instead of being like useless as Troublemaker.
Yeah, I mean, assuming you're playing goddesses, Eris Standard's still a pretty scary card.
Yeah. Fucking Eris Standard. All right, let's move on to a much more interesting card.
All right, this is To the Crimson Demon Village, Aqua. Gets 500 power for each of your other adventurer or goddess trait characters. On play, heal 1. Can I read today? When this attacks, if the pants is in your climax zone, you can pay 1. If you do, put the bottom 2 cards of your opponent's deck into their waiting room. If there are no climaxes among them, ping 1, ping 1.
Wow, it's Cocochino, but only pay 1. It's pretty stupid. It also heals. And it's of a more consistent climax. Oh, I actually really love this card. Aqua finally got a good finisher.
Seems pretty good, yeah.
And if we're talking about finishers for the goddess deck, that other pants was always empty for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, what, you don't like the Fumio climax combo?
What? I think it's just summon on a clock, right?
Yeah, it's summon out of clock, yeah.
Which is fine. It's like a fine effect. It's like a heal and a card on board.
Yeah, I mean, the Fumio into Vanilla Swings is sometimes finisher-esque in itself, but this definitely helps the deck out a ton.
Yeah, I mean, Brian, I think you've seen me play this deck a couple of times. It's or the deck that I was like playing this in. It's really strong at closing games. Cocochino's always been good.
Yeah, burn one when it pops off is nasty.
Is it like at worst it's like burn 1, remove climax, right? Most of the time. Or, burn 1, even if your attack's canceled. And it's affordable. That's the big thing. Every repeated one, like if you're tripling this, is a higher chance to reveal a climax and for it to do nothing.
Yeah.
But like pay 1 coin flipping to mill your opponent from the bottom 2, if it does remove a climax, especially on a small deck, maybe that's good. Maybe it's bad. I think it's very contextual. But the baseline is it's an 11k healer.
I think it's
pretty good.
I think contextually in the goddess deck, it will fit very nicely because I I might actually have the most experience out of us playing against the Goddess deck.
Yeah, you played against Brandon.
Playing against
forever.
Brandon a whole lot, but the Eris combo at level 2, it really depletes your stock.
Well, it's your hand, right? It's
Yeah,
mostly
It's
hand.
like either your hand or your stock, but yeah, I mean, you're paying a lot of stock in the mid game, and a lot of hand as well. So
This is just like
it's a
if
nice
you're gonna
clean
double,
finisher.
if you're gonna do double, you just have to play it. You just have to field it and attack in your other lane first.
Yeah, so the stock overhead's not too big of a crunch, even if you're going big on the Eris early plays, which I kind of like about it. I don't really think the effect is completely comparable to Coco Chino. I think Coco Chino's a lot better at doing what it does, but
Well, how? It's the same as long as it hits. It has to hit.
Coco Chino never misses; it always hits.
Yeah. I think that's the difference. But Coco Chino's also
Coco
what?
Chino
Pay
draws
3.
in its own climax.
This pay 3, but that's on door.
Coco Chino's 2.
2. It's pay 2, ditch 2, right?
Yeah, it has an effect that draws you into your combo.
Yeah, this
And helps
is on
build up the
pants
hand
though.
to ditch for the combo.
Well, this doesn't have to ditch at all. So it's on pants, and it's in a deck that is definitely running the Climax Swapper at the very least, possibly running Kome in some way. I think it's pretty easy to get your Climax in Konosuba, all things considered, no matter what build you're playing.
Yeah, given the tools we've seen to this point.
I don't think it's ridiculous to say having your Climax for this is not difficult. But it is valid that it's just like if this is the only card you have, yeah, sure. You're not going to get into it. However, I think the baseline is higher than Coco Chino, and that it is an 11k healer. And then pay 1 for the Coco Chino effect, even if you're quote unquote coin flipping it, is really, really good.
I guess something else to add is if you're playing this heavy into blue, you're heavy into goddesses, you're probably playing the Fumio as well, which means the bottom 2 cards of your opponent's deck are even more likely to be clean cards if you shuffled a bunch of clean cards back.
Also notable, we haven't seen them yet, but I talked about it in red. The 2/1 bottom deck card, right? The 2/1 that gives your things bottom deck, as well as there's a bomb. There's a 500 power bottom deck bomb that has an alarm effect that puts cards on the bottom of your opponent's deck. It's possible to actually guarantee your opponent's cards as clean if they don't refresh. Depending on your opponent's deck state, that's either super good or super bad, but like on the actual turn, right? You still have the 2/1 on field. You can, in your third lane, if you're doubling, which I think is the most normal scenario, right? Doubling this.
Yeah.
Very, very easy to do.
Yeah.
You get a reverse in the third lane, you bottom deck that card, and now you only have to reveal 1 clean card. The bottom card of your opponent's deck being a Climax? Yeah, sure, that happens all the time, unfortunately, because that's how Weiss works. But still, I mean, you're increasing your own chances because this set gave Aqua a bunch of bottom deck effects.
Mm-hmm.
And if you clock the, what is it? If you somehow have that card on top of your clock going into this turn, you can even completely guarantee it. Like in situations where you only need to guarantee deal 2 or something like that to win, or you need to deal small amounts of damage, you can clock the bottom decker alarm effect, rest your back row, put 2 clean cards under your opponent's deck in your third lane, swing in with this, guarantee burn 1. If you're trying to chip your opponent out and they're hyper compressed or something, you can there's a lot of tools to actually make the third effect go off a lot more consistently. Which is really cool that they have built-in cards that were good anyway that you want to kind of run anyway that kind of feed into this combo. And Aqua finally got a good finisher. She didn't have shit before this.
I think the healing's a really big plus too, especially with the early play. I think that lets you.
You're running so many healers.
Yeah, exactly.
You're running what? You're probably running 3 Mesmerizing Water Goddess, 3 of the new Union, which Billy, you didn't see. You'll be very happy.
Hey, S tier in my book.
The 10/5 Hand Encore Healer.
Yeah, it is an S tier card. So
yeah, super good. So you're running 6 healers there on average, depending on your build. Maybe you're running more, and you're running 3 or 4 of this. You're just running 10 healers in your deck. So it's a lot of heal
Yeah, that's kind of Aqua's shtick, though. So
for
it's
us.
healing.
Yeah, for a
She
super
is
strong combo.
A priestess, a healer.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we can move on to rating this. I really
Yeah.
like this card. I'm gonna give it the straight A. I'm a big fan. I think
Yeah,
Kokachino, the possibility of Kokachino for one on a healer off pants is just really, really strong. And I don't think English has never had a Kokachino type effect. And I don't think, other than Memory Snow, this like has a bad matchup.
Yeah, I'm only sticking the minus on my A here because of the fact that the effect only has a chance to pop off. Though you definitely have ways to manipulate that in your favor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm giving it the B minus for that reason. I think the fact that you might not have a lot of stock going into your late game turn with goddesses to play multiples of these, coupled with the fact that you are dependent on your opponent milling a bottom deck climax and you only have 2 cards to hit one.
No. You don't have to. You don't hit a climax. Did you misread it? It's when you don't hit a climax. You don't hit a climax.
Bottom 2 don't hit a climax.
Yeah, you're pretty favored to hit, especially if you
even still, it's if they're compressed at that point, it might be difficult. So I think there's a lot more setup that might have to go into it other than just sacking it. But I think it's a very good card still.
I don't know. I've been running this. What is it? I guess I have to reveal some of my bias. I've talked about it before. I was running like 5-door, 3 pants with this as the primary top end with the new level 1 Megumin combo, where you can sort of pivot into the new like all-in-one combo off the 5th door. And it's felt unbelievably consistent, very strong. Shout out to Kit for like sort of coming up with that list, and I've been also testing it. Very strong. I think that's what I'm going to start out with, probably, when the set drops. Mostly because it uses a ton of new cards, and I need to test all the new cards. But I implore people to test this combo in mixed decks. Or maybe even... this card is very strong in 3 climax or greedier decks. That's on a strong trigger for those kinds of decks, and you have ways to swap climaxes. Pants has natural synergy with your level 1 combo, and I'd normally say that that's very marginal because you're like attacking 3 times. Are you really going to hit Pants in 3 attacks? But your level 1 has Twin Drive. So if you Twin Drive 3 times, you're going through 6 cards, increasing the chance that you trigger Pants, given that you have Pants left in your deck, which lets you loop your level 1 combo, keep your hand up, exchange, even if you don't grab the right climax for your level 1 combo, keep going, and then burning out with a very efficient finisher is just a really strong package, I think. And it lets you sort of pivot into some other combo, whether it's Stock Soul or the new thing, whatever you want to do. I think this card enables very greedy decks, and that's why I like it a lot. Because the baseline is so good, it's an 11k healer. But yeah, we can move on. I just wanted to shill for it a little bit, and I think people should think about this card a lot more than they probably are going into the set, because everybody's super hype on the magic stuff. But this deserves a look. We can move on. This is mine. We got Aqua Lap Pillow. I don't know if that's the actual name of the card. Assist, 500 power in front. And then when your other character is placed from stage waiting room, you can sack this and put that character back in rested. So Conan save effect.
Wow, Conan.
Well, far worse than Conan.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have the scry ability. I don't know if this is a radical opinion. The scry ability is what makes Conan broken. Or like a radical take. But I don't think the saver effect is as good.
I think it can be relevant in some instances, but this card just seems...
Well, put it this way, right? Well, the big thing that you'd want to save that you'd be investing a lot in is that the merge. And because this doesn't rest on reverse, it's a lot worse. Because this is like the same scene as the darkness, right? I think like that's what they're trying to like say, that you would like run this card in that deck for like some optional blue. But, like, you'd lose all the markers for the darkness, which would suck. And, like, the Union already has hand on core. So what are you going to save with this? Really, is the
Right,
big
like-
question.
Like mesmerizing or something is their intention. I'm not sure.
But you would rather play mesmerizing again, right?
Right,
You-
exactly.
yeah, like you would
It's a
rather
one-
salvage it
one
and
stock
play a
overhead, yeah.
second one to heal. Like I don't think this card fits in Konosuba in any way.
Yeah, it's a cool effect for them to have. I don't think it's super relevant. I agree.
Only a C because I think the first effect is like really whatever on this profile. I wish it had like an on-play effect or on-death effect or something where it would make it worth playing.
If it was a global 500, I think I'd give it a C+, but since it's only the front two, I'm not a big fan.
Yeah, not great. Andy, any thoughts? Love Live Sunshine enthusiast.
The scry is a big deal, I think,
Yeah.
and just 500 power is just like 500
Whatever.
power frontal assist just isn't like that good of an effect anymore. It's probably not. I feel like I probably wouldn't play this card.
I mean, like, what's your high
Maybe
profile thing you'd
it's like
save?
maybe it's a tech card. Maybe it's like a tech card to like
You'd save Eris, right?
like
I think,
like searching it up to put in the back or to save something. But
Yeah, maybe Eris.
save Eris, but
yeah, I feel like Eris is the only target you'd want to save with this, like, ever, because of the way Konosuba's early plays work. Because, like, even the worst early play they have access to, like Dame, you wouldn't want to save Dame because Dame plays for one and has the opportunity to ping, right? Like, so, like, two of them you wouldn't want to save, and the one that you would want to save has hand on core already. So, like, it's like kind of like the set didn't need this card, you know? Or maybe, what is it? Doesn't Darkness have a... Maybe it's good in the Darkness, like the old Darkness deck, Brian?
Oh, maybe.
Maybe. Like if they manage to somehow beat over your shit. Or they only have red anti-change bombs.
Or waiting room anti-change it.
Waiting
yeah,
room anti-change.
That's kind of spicy, actually. I like that
Yeah,
idea.
maybe-
I'll play with that.
Maybe that's the only real use for this card, but I feel like the Darkness deck has to pivot to the merge because it's too strong.
I'm such a hater.
Yeah. No. I legitimately feel like the new Darkness package is superior to the meme deck in pretty much every way.
No,
Unfortunately.
the merge deck seems pretty good. I've got some testing to do for sure.
Goblin Slayer is a pretty strong combo. But yeah, I guess we can move on. Kind of unfortunate, but at least it's got cute art, funny art. Cute and funny at the same time, because it's got Aqua on the card. Aqua's my favorite Konosuba character. Wow, more Aqua. Go ahead, Billy.
Okay, so bad news. I actually have to leave, unfortunately, an hour earlier than I anticipated because my roofer's here a whole freaking hour earlier.
Oh, well, damn. Unfortunate.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I
No
hope I
problem.
didn't screw anything up too bad. I don't know how long this is going to take if you want me to hop back in, but yeah, sorry about that.
It's possible. If we're still in here talking, it's probably still going. So,
Yeah.
All
all
right,
right. Have fun
I will,
getting your roof
I can get
redone. Sounds riveting. That was a
Yeah.
roof joke.
Ha ha ha.
Beautiful. All right,
right.
I'll talk to you guys later. Sorry.
I guess I'll pick this up then. We got this Aqua, which is placed from hand to stage. Choose one of your adventurer or goddess characters, gains 1500 power for the turn. So on play, gives something 15. Could be herself. Then it has Twin Drive. Decent filler card. For a deck that's in blue at level 1, I guess.
I guess.
Twin Drive strong. Cards that have Twin Drive in decks that want to play Twin Drive, like either 8 door or anything that's playing the new door combo, are strong supplementary cards for turns that you do not have Twin Drive. Because that's sort of like your strategy anyway. Like if you're playing a combo that has Twin Drive or gets Twin Drive and Climax combo, you're saying that you generate a lot of value from triggering climaxes and you want to be able to pay them out, sort of like mitigating the effect. So like supplementary cards that also have Twin Drive are a little bit better in that scenario. And giving extra power is always good. Adventurer hits on everything relevant, which is important to know. Goddess is just kind of like extra. The only thing, I mean, Union's also adventurer trait, right? Like all the time, so like doesn't even matter.
I think so, yeah.
yes, I think she's adventurer magic.
Yeah, so like it doesn't even matter.
I think if you're not running the Megamine combo at 1, if you're playing a more like goddesses focused deck, more of a pure build, not splashing,
Yeah.
probably would be like a nice tech card to maybe have one or two of to be able to get twin drive on the turns you want it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially
Um,
because Aqua, like, say, like, you're playing set 2 Aqua combo, right? Like, pretty much all the time in those builds. Which is also pay 1.
The 3K split combo, right?
Yeah, which is also pay 1 on reverse. But say you'd have to do that in the first lane for some reason, or you need extra power to get over. You attack in there, you mill 3, which is like milling you closer into another climax trigger. Triggering on those can feel really bad. Like, I can give like recent experience, like with Dow with Kotri, because you're like on attack, revealing 2 cards. You're like more often like digging yourself into a climax trigger. So a supplementary twin drive is like really good in that deck. I think Andy's very correct, because you're like digging yourself into a trigger. Unless you're aquaing on the last attack. So yeah, stronger in goddesses, but I think any deck that could like support blue at 1, this is pretty strong in.
Yeah, it's
probably give it like a.
it's like a
Let's see.
playable card.
I think I'd just give it a straight B, but I really think twin drive's like actually broken.
It's definitely a strong effect for sure.
It just gets stronger, right? Like twin drive never gets worse.
No.
It's just like, I think twin drive with choice is already really stupid. Maybe there's like a blue-yellow deck, since now this set has choice. Just really strong synergy with choice. You can like generate extra stock, pay it out. Just good synergy.
I just wish like it did like a little bit more. Like on 100 spot power is nice, but
well, it could give itself to itself, so it could be a 5K
maybe
twin
not
driver.
what the deck needs, or
yeah, I mean 5K twin drive isn't a horrible.
Don't need a lot of copies.
Could help Union in some way, right? So like you could twin drive with Union style combo that like pays out the thing that you blind stocked. Could be strong.
Yeah, that's
I mean like that's what Summer Pockets does, right? Like their like normal board is like double Shiroha, one of the twin drive, and then they like attack with one Shiroha, pay out the twin drive, and then attack with the last one. So that the blind stocked is always on the bottom, so that they always know. It could be strong there. It also gives 1500 power to the Union, but it's also blue is the problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't play it with Union. Never mind. So
right.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Yeah, forget that.
Fucking blue. Damn it. Not magic trait. All right, we can move on.
Pretty magical.
Yeah, she doesn't have magic though. She's goddess.
All right, Andy, tell us about this.
Yeah.
All right, on to the good stuff. On to the good cards. We got Sylvia. For every marker it has, it gets 1,000 extra power. Which is a theme of the Sylvia cards. They generate markers. When it's placed from hand to stage, look at 2 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 2 Demon Army characters or characters with Kazuma in the card name, or the Demon King Army invades, which is, I'm assuming, this event next to it. And it goes under this card as any order as markers. So it can potentially get 2 markers for itself. Look at up to 2 cards. What happens to the rest of them? The rest will go to the waiting room. So if you hit a climax, it goes to waiting room.
Yeah.
So you can't mark a climax, which is good.
That's nice. And this is probably a stock soul.
Yes, like stock soul.
Yeah.
Assuming this is a stock soul climax combo, on reverse, you can pay 1 and send the climax to your waiting room from the climax zone to search your deck for up to 2 Demon Army and or Kazuma characters and add them into your hand. So on reverse, it is a double Shimakaze. And I believe you still keep the souls throughout the turn because it's an on play give the soul
auto effect. Yep.
Not too bad actually.
Not horrible. Yeah,
a lot better than I thought it was going to be honest.
Yeah, 6K power swinging and it's 7 if it hits both markers.
Notably, sacking that it's on doesn't do anything to your other lanes if you're only playing one of this. Or well, you can only really resolve one, correct?
Yeah.
Because it's an auto.
True, but you only really need to get 1 reverse then. So
yeah, you can fish for a reverse in any one of your lanes if you field multiples of this.
So this is kind of like
even if they have a runner, you can just field multiple Sylvias, and even if they run, you should still catch them.
It's pretty strong. I like that you can do it like at any time. I like that sacking the climax doesn't matter. It's literally just a +2. Pay 1 +2. Thins your first deck, thins your second deck. And if like this lives back to your turn, I think you definitely want to play backups in this Cosma Sylvia deck because this
there's
card
that one
tanks
yellow
up.
backup that gives a marker.
Yeah, and like that's like a what? That's like a 1500 backup, I think it was, right?
And the extra marker would pump it to 25.
25 backup.
So become a 25 backup and give this card an additional marker.
You could potentially snowball real hard with this. Like, if you can defend it with a backup, then get back to your turn.
And you only need to get a reverse.
You have other ways to start putting markers under stuff. You know, it could get up there in power maybe.
You have the Cosmo that sacks himself, right? And top checks 4 and becomes a marker. That card's really good with this, I think, because not only can you compress your current deck, you also have first deck speed then too. And then the stock soul like kind of refunds it a little bit. So like you're not even like hurting for a lot of stock. And the only event that you'd run this also hits on. So like even if you only hit 1, you can like this is gonna swing in probably 6 or 7. You only need to get 1 reverse, so like you can snipe a small lane. And then if you live back with the counter, you only need to get a 1 reverse on the following turn. And then God forbid you're on next deck. It's like second deck Yuki, right? But it's also plussing 2. Like really strong for an army deck. I actually really like this a lot.
It seems pretty good.
It doesn't really seem like an army deck to me. I don't think you're really running a lot of like.
Well, enemy deck.
You're not running like 20 orcs.
You're only running Cosmas and Demon King army, which is Sylvia. So it's Cosma Sylvia, but I think there are enough cards for both of those.
Yeah, like you're not just running like my level 0 game is 15 copies of a.
It's a little more open than an enemy deck, right?
For sure.
It's a little more open than a normal enemy deck, which is good. I actually really like this a lot. It's like a combination of like the explosive marker compression that you can get from Gurren Lagann. Milling 2 cards to become markers that can't hit climaxes on first deck is really good. And then it's like also Yuki at the same time. It's like really good for an enemy deck. Like the level 1 combo is not the thing that's quote unquote holding the enemy deck back, I think, at all. This is really good.
No, yeah, definitely not. I mean, board compression. Never complain about keeping 2 clean cards out of your next deck.
Well, this could potentially compress 4 cards from your current deck, right?
Yeah.
Like on its own. When you climax combo, that's like really strong. I like how strong this is on second deck.
You can get rid of the climax too before you go to the refresh too. So even if you only have like maybe 1 or 2 cards left in your deck, you can still like have your climax go back.
And
I think you want to try to time it though, so you can make sure like you go to refresh that turn. Like I feel like that's what's so good about Gurren Lagann is they put all the markers under their shit and then they immediately refresh.
Well, I mean, this set already, even in Cosma and Sylvia alone, has more deck control than Gurren Lagann has in its entire set. So
true, but you need to get this off earlier in the game. This is like when you hit level 1 as opposed to when you hit level 2. So,
well, Gurren Lagann has the level 1 things, but then they also give up their climax combo to play a lot of those. But this you get to do both, which I think is awesome. It's like combining Yuki and the 1-0 Gurren Lagann at the same time in terms of like the amount of possible compression you could generate. The problem is like if you do somehow whiff and you're only a 5k, you might have trouble finding reverses when you get to level 1 first, which is the only problem with this card, I think. I think that's the only problem, is that if you're only a 5k, which like, will happen, you either need to try to play another one, which I think is the biggest strength of this, is that you don't have to sculpt to have multiple going into your level 1, which is really, really good to +2. But that's also kind of a drawback, because if you only are a 5k and you're at level 1 second, that's kind of rough to get a single reverse. So, if you're in Cosma Sylvia, you might not have self-clock effects that kind of help you get to level 1 first. So it might be a little rough to get there.
Usually they're going to have at least one weak lane though.
Yeah, I mean,
Usually.
we would hope, but like I'm saying, in those scenarios, it can be a little
Might be a
bit of
little
a
rough.
struggle bus,
Yeah.
right? Like if you're only a 5K with a stock soul. If it
Depending
was
how-
on a
I
global
guess-
soul, it'd be a lot better, I think. But
Well, what I was getting to a little bit beforehand though was that like depending how like you want to try to refresh that turn because depending how popular wind triggers or any sort of flickering effects, or whatever, anything that pops back to hand or removes it from field, you want to make sure you get your refresh before your opponent can interact with your compression, or even just killing it in battle with like a suicider or something.
yeah.
Hmm.
Spoiler alert.
Where you if they suicider into your Sylvia, even if you encore it, you lose all the markers.
We're recording this on the day that that was announced in English, so now Flicker's a thing.
Yeah, that's why that was kind of fresh in my mind, I guess. But
Yeah, Flicker wrecks this card. Flicker destroys Gurren Lagann as a set. Unfortunately, I guess it's a topic for another video, but it's like how many sets become extremely unfavored with the release of Data Live would be an interesting topic to delve
oh
into.
man, dude, unrestricted data live and unrestricted AOT. You're gonna lose to one of them, right?
I guess. Well, AOT's never been restricted, but I guess unrestricted
you know what I mean,
Sunshine.
though.
Yeah. It's just like God forbid, a billion unrestricted sets.
New boogeyman on the block.
Yeah, but
For real, though, yeah.
I think this card, in terms of an enemy deck combo, since like I don't even want to call it an enemy deck, it's not as ridiculous as an enemy deck. Like in terms of deck building constraints.
It's more of a waifu deck.
Yeah, there are still deck building constraints that you have to consider, and I think that gives it the B- for me. But like it reads so strong.
Yeah, given
in
those
that.
constraints, it seems pretty good.
Yeah,
Probably give it the -2 just because flickering and wind triggers and stuff can really mess up marker cards. But yeah, I think it's a cool card to have. Finally gives use to a lot of the Cosmo cards that have just been sitting in your playset doing nothing.
yeah.
Mhm.
Oh God, is ReZero unplayable now? Shit!
Oh my god! Shut up! Shut up!
No!
Another
No!
video.
No! All right.
All right, next card, Carmen. Or
This is
Brian.
Brian. Yeah.
This is The Adventurer's
back.
Life, Aqua.
Oh, Billy's back.
Billy's
Look
back.
at that. It took 5 minutes. Adulting's easy.
All right, 74. Slide
You
74.
missed one card.
Climax
Yeah, I know.
You
combo,
missed
when
one
this
card. We
attacks,
talked about it for a while.
If the book is in your climax zone and you have another adventurer or goddess character, look at top 4, choose a level 1 or higher card from among them, show it to your opponent, put it into your hand. Send the rest to the waiting room. So this can grab events.
Add seizure, I think, is the
Pretty-
relevant event.
Good times.
That's pretty cool.
It's on
Um,
attack. It's an on attack Moguro, but for 1 or higher, so you can grab
The-
events.
That's
the only
actually-
relevant event is seizure, I think.
Konami code.
Oh yeah. If you're in blue yellow.
Konami code. There's a lot of good events in Konosuba that people
I mean-
really haven't looked at.
Moguro for 1 or higher. Is it worse or better than normal Moguro? I think is the only question.
You
I think
build your deck around it to accommodate it. I
Yeah,
think it's
Yeah,
slightly worse in some cases, but
it's less generalized. However, Konosuba was never a set that was hurting for viable level 1 combos. So the fact that this is in a set that didn't care already, but it's giving you the option, makes it slightly better in context, I think. Because it's just a normal 5K book Moguro. These are like dime a dozen.
shout outs to Drew from the yellow video.
Yeah.
Easy ass fucking way to add an event to your hand.
grabbing the events, yeah.
The easiest
is-
way, probably.
This is I really like this actually. Konosuba has a lot of event cards that people have kind of neglected. Obviously,
Yeah.
you have like seizure and Konami code, but I think there was a few other ones that were like,
There's
Possible to
the
mess
what is
around
it?
with.
The lie detector.
yeah, friendship crystal. That's a personal favorite.
Oh,
of mine.
friendship crystal is actually. We didn't talk about friendship crystal at all during the red video, but friendship crystal is like a card that people are unironically running at like 2 to 3. Like I wouldn't even say 2 to 3, 2 to 4.
Carmen, I think we run that in the Megumin explosion deck we were brewing up last
Oh
time.
yeah, 100%. Like
You look
I,
at their hand. Oh, you're out all your climaxes. Get ready to eat this 2 soul.
yeah, like the
Oh
look.
my god, I love it.
The good part about Friendship Crystal is that it's just a 1/1 magical girl appears that also has you both reveal your hands for no reason. Like there's no like they said that because you can only grab a Megumin and Union, which by the way is not a restriction in any deck that you like have a brain that you build, you also get to see both players' hands. Like for no cost, and it's a 1/1 magical girl appears. People are like already running that card.
Mhm.
So yeah, maybe there's a blue-red deck or like a blue-yellow deck, blue-yellow like a tricolor deck.
You have some good yellow events too. That like if you're playing a perfect split of yellow, red, and blue, there's that one that looks at top 3 and adds a yellow, blue, and
One
red
of each
card to your
color, yeah,
hand.
the insignia. Yeah.
I'm giving this B+ just because I like that it gives you the option to build an event heavy deck in Konosuba, but in terms of like a normal Magro, I think normal Magro is like just a B these days, like normal 5K
Yeah.
Magro. But like
just
in context of
grab that,
Konosuba, the option is nice. I think.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm giving it to A because I think Magaros are generally speaking probably B+ or A tier cards, and the fact that it hits on events is really cool. And you don't need a reverse.
Yeah.
Konami codes in this set.
Well,
I really like this actually. It's
What
fun to
would
brew.
like? I mean, guess on a scale, we should like define like the best Magro is probably like Amelia, right? Like that'd be like an S tier Magro, and then you'd like move backwards from there.
Yeah.
To like
the Amelia
to
just
like
has a
Crystal
crystal
Song Yukina, which is like probably the most fucking vanilla ass Magro
Yeah.
ever.
Mhm.
I don't know.
or like that's
think
a B.
I think these event ones might be maybe they're equal or maybe better than a normal Magaro.
It depends on the
Depends how
set.
you build your deck.
I think, like I said, in a set that already isn't hurting for strong level 1 combos, the fact that this gives you the option makes it better. But like, I think baseline Magro would be a B, just to like give like an idea of like where we'd like rate Magros, since like they're just gonna get more common in the future, right?
Yeah.
Like every set's gonna have a goddamn Magro. Like
yeah, there's
like-
probably like a really good budget Konosuba deck out there.
yeah,
Like the Megumin Union deck's gonna be ungodly expensive still, but this Aqua into like some other top end, like this is just a normal rare, and like maybe with some
Yeah.
stuff from the other 2 sets, like
the only
I think
problem
there might be like a competitive budget deck out there for Konosuba.
The
I
only
don't
problem with a
disagree, yeah.
budget deck will be finding an early play that isn't ridiculous. Like you probably have to build into yellow to play
I was
budget
fine with
Konosuba.
goddesses though.
The problem is that mesmerizing water goddess is $45 now, Billy.
Oh, whoa, when that happened?
I don't know.
After you bought it.
Yeah, after you bought it. Yeah.
Good timing.
That's why I told you, I was like, you buy that salty guy's deck right now, because you'll never find that any cheaper.
I really hope I have a 4th one.
I'm pretty sure you do. But
I do too, but I'm scared that I don't.
yeah, mesmerizing is $45 now, and like I think you have to have an early play to like play the game.
Probably,
Oh,
but,
yeah.
but get this though. Like the one of the best events in Konosuba that you can grab with this is probably going to be the Konami code.
That
which
or
requires
seizure.
a Cosma character.
Yeah, so like there'll be
Which
like
is yellow, and then there's a Cosma. I think is there a Cosma early play? I don't know, but
I don't think there's an early play. There are
I don't know,
Cosmo
that,
level
that pushes
3.
you into yellow for Cosmas and Konami code, which then lets you play the Darkness early play or something.
Yeah, there's got to be something out there. I just like the option. I guess we've like moved on to just talking about Magros in general, but we can move on. I just wanted to give like a scale of where we'd rate a normal Magro, which would probably be like a B. Like Crystal Song Yukino would probably be a B currently, and like we'd go from there to Amelia, which is like probably an S, because she's like a 7K Magro.
I don't think Amelia's that much better than just a normal.
Yeah, Amelia's probably like an
vanilla
A tier card.
Magaro.
You think so? She's 7K Magro. It's pretty
She does
good.
she does get
As
that
opposed to
extra
6K,
1,000
that's not like a huge difference. You don't need the reverse anyway.
It depends on the climax coming on. They're not all on book. Like,
most of them are on book.
there's a lot of them on Stock Soul. I guess that's more of a JP thing. Stock Soul Magro. I guess Stock Soul Magro is probably better than book Magro. I don't know. Emil is pretty stupid, but I guess it depends on what set's in it. All right, we can move on. Let's go to this Sylvia. All right, so we got this Sylvia here. This card gets 3,000 power, continuous, so it's just a 13. Why doesn't it printed 13? This card gets 3,000 power continuously, and it gets X power, where X equals 500 times the markers underneath this card. Climax
Is that like
combo.
a mistranslation or something? Or
No, it's not a mistranslation. That's, I mean, you can look at it on the card. That is what is written.
Just Bushiroad.
I think it's probably more of a flavor thing, right?
I think it's a balancing thing. If a card had 13k power printed on it, it would have to have additional drawbacks. This is how Bushiroad like balances. Like it has to be an effect.
There might be a way to negate effects.
Yeah.
At some point, you know.
So this activates up to once per turn. At the end of this card's attack, if you have 4 or more other Demon King's Army characters and/or characters with Cosmo in its name, you may pay cost, which is ditch 2 and put the climax from the waiting room in from climax into waiting room. And if so, stand this. So notably, this is a pants, so that is a continuous effect. So when this climax goes to the waiting room, you will lose soul. However, with a restander,
that's good
that's good for a restander, because the problem with restanders is that they either accrue soul or accrue negative soul, or can rather be like money counter and other stuff. They have like, because you're attacking twice, you're giving your opponent 2 opportunities to interact. However, the fact that you sack this means triggering soul doesn't hurt you. So it's like swing 3 when you trigger soul, which makes this a lot better.
Also nice too. Most restanders you got to get a reverse. This is just at the end of the attack.
Yes, at the end of this card's attack is infinitely better than requiring reverse. However, there's a swing in for 14.
For 14, yeah, you're probably
At
killing
least.
what you're attacking anyway, but
And the only way to give this card markers is the backup or the Cosmo that we've seen so far. The 1-0, the 0-0 Cosmo, it's pay 1 sack, put it under a Sylvia top check 4 ad, which maybe you don't want to do on your finish return. You probably don't want to like pay 1 like mill on your finish return if you've just refreshed. So it's either good or bad depending on your deck state. But still, like 14 is fine.
Yeah, for just a
This is totally okay as a finisher because it sacks the climax. If this didn't sack the climax, I'd be like, oh my god, another stupid ass freestander. Who gives a shit? But the fact that it is ditch 2, sack the climax, making it cost no stock. Because normally,
nice cost, yeah.
Normally restands cost a ton of stock, because that's just how Bushiroad balances them. But ditch 2, sack the climax is actually very good. It makes the card much better. You have to have a full field, but 4 more other.
Yeah. I guess the only other thing to note about this card is it doesn't do a normal level 3 effect on play. It doesn't heal. It doesn't
does nothing else.
It doesn't salvage. It just gets power. It's just
it's
big.
Just 13k.
I would have maybe liked that, considering that you need a full field, being able to like draw into another card. Like a draw 2 ditch one would have maybe been nice.
Yeah, but it doesn't do shit. It is on pants though, so little more chances for you to get it.
It gets fucking huge though.
It's weird that like the other climax you want to run is stock soul, but the effect isn't stock costed.
I don't know.
Yeah.
A little weird.
We'll have to wait till we get to the other cards. Maybe the whole.
Maybe there's
master
something
panel
else
revealed.
Maybe there's something else you could spend stock on level 2 to like make use of the extra stock. But I guess you're also paying 1 for the combo, so the fact that it's like kind of lean is good. I just wish it did something else. There's got to be like some. You have to run like some sort of heal or something. You can't just like not run heal these days. So
for sure.
We'll see. I think it's fine. Like B, better than normal restander. I think I'd give normal restand climax combos like
C+.
Maybe even a C plus, like B minus if they were really good. Because I hate restanders, but this is like fine. I think for an enemy deck, the fact that it's an enemy deck card. All right, we can move on.
Calling it an enemy deck, that's demeaning, dude.
It is an enemy deck.
It's gonna be a solid. They are enemies, but it's gonna be a solid deck, and Cosmo's in it too. He's not
even enemy trait.
Cosmo becomes an enemy. Did you even watch a movie?
Yeah, I did watch the movie. I sat next to you.
You did. Oh wait, yes, right. You did. You did sit next to me. We all went to see that movie, I think, on the same day. All right. Who is this? I think it's Billy. Go ahead.
I think so. So, I don't remember this Aqua's name. Does anybody know where we get
No, you don't. You can just say this Aqua. You're good.
it? Okay.
This-
Cunning
this is
Idea Aqua.
Cunning Idea Aqua, yeah.
3
Yep,
o'clock.
the 7th Aqua in this review. When this becomes reversed in battle, if the level of the battling opponent of this card is 0 or lower, you may put that character on the bottom of the library. Alarm. If this character is on the top of your clock at the beginning of your climax phase, choose one of your adventurer or goddess characters. And for that turn, the character gains the following ability. Act. When the battling opponent of this card becomes reversed, you may put the character on the bottom of your opponent's library.
Double bottom deck.
All right. So this is the alarm card that we talked about a couple slides ago.
Yeah. So I know this seems hella underwhelming at first, but like, hear me out. Bottom deck's pretty strong right now in English.
Only gonna get better too.
Yeah, it's like
card removal's pretty good.
into slime and into other Konosuba decks. I think this is really strong. And then 500 power bombs are just going to get better too because of how they work.
Sending to a different zone other than graveyard's nice too, so they can't get the on grave effect.
Anything that says anything that has anything that's 500 power that has a part of its cost to go to memory. This isn't a big thing in English yet. I think Adventure Time got a 500 power drop search. It got a like error drop search type card.
Yeah.
These are the only way to deny that kind of effect, because part of the cost is to send a card to memory. Your opponent, the effect activates, but your opponent cannot fulfill the cost, so they can't get the ability. These 500 power bombs are like the only way to deal with the effect, and the fact that the alarm effect is also kind of valuable right now makes this a lot better, I think, than it normally would be.
I think I like the alarm effect actually, because it lets you run as many copies of this as you want at level 0, and then it still retains its value throughout the
Later,
game.
yeah.
Being able to bottom deck when it doesn't give a bomb effect, it gives on reverse, you bottom deck them the second time if you alarm it. So like if at level 0 this trades with one of their cards that goes to memory and then doesn't let them get the memory effect, and later on in the game you can clock this. And then even if they have one of those annoying-ass memory cards out, you just give whatever character that's in front of it the bottom deck effect. And even if you beat it in battle, you can bottom deck it.
Notably, if we get level 0 JCs in English, these are the primary way to deal with those cards at level 0, is like zone bombs. Because if your opponent fields it in the front row, and you remove the card from the field, they can't activate the effect on the other lane. You crash it first.
We've got Bat Clan.
And the fact that it's 500 power makes it even stronger, because overloaded JCs are very regularly 500 power, notably like Utaha, JC, and JP. Like really overloaded JC or Ricky effects. So I think this card will only get better. Based on its current position, I agree, Brian. I think it's like a B. Normally, I mean, like, I think for a like level 0 500 power bomb, we'd be like destroying this card. But the effects are very well positioned going forward.
The extra utility it offers is definitely
the bottom deck effect is going to get really good as time goes on, and the fact that you can actually just run 4 of this.
Yeah, you just clock
so
it.
you see it early, and then you see it later to clock.
It's like an even better version of the Ron Bomb from Bang Dream that we've like fucked with a bazillion times, right? The one that gives Twin Drive. This is like an even more relevant effect.
You maybe have to be a little careful though with some of your early play healers though, because like if you clock this and then heal it off.
Yeah, it depends on the timing. Yeah, I think it's better at levels like maybe there's sticky stuff at level 1 you want to get rid of, stuff with Encore or stuff that your opponent like might want to save or do something like that.
It's something they stand by out.
Yeah, you can just like get rid of it. It's just a 500 power bomb, which has all the benefits that we already talked about removing like certain threats, and then you can clock it to get the same effect later on. And then it also lets you double up with the finisher, which we talked about if you need to stick specific damage, and the 2-1.
Yeah.
The 2-1 back row.
Stack the bottom of their deck.
Yeah.
Whatever you want.
It lets you double up with the finisher, which is really good.
Ooh. The finisher's a healer though.
Yeah, so you would have to choose not to heal, but if you want to if you need to guarantee damage in chip situations, it's worth not healing.
Yeah,
You know.
very clever.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah, strong,
Let's talk about
simple.
this incredible art card. We got Sylvia with the titties. When she's placed on the stage from your hand, if you have 2 or more other Demon King or Cosmos, you can draw a discard. Love that effect. Brainstormer, rest itself, flip over 4 for each climax, search your deck for Demon King, Army, or Cosma. So this is probably the Brainstormer of choice, I guess, for the Cosma.
I don't
Sylvia
know.
deck.
Do you run this?
I
guess?
think on play Draw Ditch is extremely good.
That's pretty good.
I guess it makes your other copies of your Brainstorm not dead. It's kind of a coin flip whether it makes your first Brainstorm that you play this better. Because, like, you could draw the climax, you could ditch.
Like I'm
Yeah.
gonna be straight honest with you. Like comparing the second effects, this is just straight better than either of the other 2 Brainstormers we've seen.
What
Trigger
do you
check
mean? Like,
1000
in that
power.
deck?
Well, no, I mean period. Like,
Well, no, you'd have to have
if
2 or more other...
if you're comparing just the effect to the effect,
Mhm.
right? Trigger check.
Oh, you mean like
1000
draw
power.
ditch? Yeah.
It's
Draw
a
ditch
strong
is
effect,
draw
yeah.
ditch is incredibly powerful on play.
You
I
can
mean, in the-
only do it in this deck.
Yeah,
You
I mean,
can,
in the Sylvia deck specifically, you're playing book pants, and you probably will have extra.
Yeah,
climax
that's
in your
true,
hand at any
that's
given
true.
time.
Well, no, it's not book. It's Stoxhole. But you're playing pants, yeah.
Is it? Oh, you're right. It is.
Yeah, it is
It's-
Stoxhole. But I mean,
Stoxhole.
still, I mean, like, anything that lets you filter climax. Like, I was saying, like, it's either really good or really bad on the first turn that you brainstorm, because you either draw the climax off the top, which, again, either good or bad. It's all
Draws you into your
contextual.
combo.
Yeah, it's either contextual, good or bad, depending on you wanted to hit brainstorm or you
And you
wanted
can
to draw
play around it
climax.
too. When you have 2 or more other characters, you can just order it.
Yeah, you can just order it that you don't, or you do, so... Yeah, it makes the other copies of your Brainstorm not dead, which I like. Obviously, you can only run it in that deck, so it's like a C+, but like...
Yeah.
Well, you know, I can't give a Brainstorm anything better. No, because it's so restrictive, I think I can
Yeah.
give this one the C+.
The fact that it only works in this deck, otherwise
Yeah.
it would be.
It's a great Brainstorm for this deck, right?
Yeah,
But, like,
extremely.
but otherwise...
I think you're underrating like the power of just a on play Draw Ditch.
I'm not.
You remember back to when I played that
On play
Mono Blue Sunshine
Yeah.
deck? One of the
play...
best cards in that deck was the shitty Mari that had 1,000 power and just drew a card and discarded a card.
Yeah, I'm not saying
That was
Draw
a
Ditch
joy
is
to
bad.
play with.
I'm saying that Draw Ditch, when you have to have 2 or more other of the specific thing, I have to knock the card because I can't play this in any other deck.
Yeah.
In this deck specifically, this is the Brainstorm of choice 100%.
Is this
However,
the worst deck in Konosuba, though?
What?
I mean,
Like-
probably.
Okay.
It might be... We haven't seen all the cards, but it's probably a little bit worse than Goddesses. Because Goddesses, you can mix other cards.
Yeah, and that Aqua top end's pretty cool.
Hmm.
But, like, for this deck, this is the Brainstorm that you play. I don't mean to say that the C+ is, like, bad, because it's a self-rest Brainstorm with Draw Ditch on play, so your other copies aren't dead, which is really good.
No, I get you. That's fair. That's why I gave it a
Yeah.
minus, because you can only play it in this deck. But
Yeah.
maybe a bit of a payoff card for the deck.
I don't know how they're gonna... I actually really like, you can't do this with English. I like when they do flavor text vertically. On JP Weiss cards, you can't do this in English.
Oh
Just
no! What are
just
they
like
gonna do?
Well,
Just like what they do printed vertically.
it creates really stupid shit, like the Felt Runner, I think is one of the most egregious. If you guys want to look at like a funny looking card, go look up the Set 1 ReZero Felt Mill Runner. Like a rare and yellow. Like the way the text is formatted on that, or what is it, Yeehaw? I think.
I love the flavor text on Yeehaw.
Yeehaw, the fucking 3-5 backup and No Game No Life has also like some of the most egregious text formatting I've ever seen in my life. It's like so fucking disgusting
You're
looking.
making me want to go look these up now.
Yeah, they're really funny looking.
They're
But
just like, oh, we can't block Shira's face. Move this text.
yeah, move this text over. We can't block the felt face or no one will buy the foil. Move it over. All right. Moving on.
Alright, yeah, next card. We have Demon King Military Commander, Sylvia. When this card is placed on the stage from your hand, you can discard a card. If you do, choose the 1/1 blue event there in your waiting room, return it to your hand, bonds to the event. When this attacks, choose one of your other Demon King's army trait characters or character with Kazuma, and name for the turn that character gets X power. X is equal to the number of your other Demon King's army or Kazuma characters times 500.
Shimakai plus event bond. I like it.
Yeah,
Just,
assuming the event is
let's-
decent.
Let's see what this event does.
Yeah, let's take a look real quick.
I popped down to it. It's choose one of your standing Demon King army characters or Cosma characters and rest it. So you search your deck for a Demon King army character or Cosma. So it's pay 1, rest one of your Sylvia or Cosmas. Search for a Sylvia or Cosma, and then give a character 3,000 power for the turn.
So you could potentially pump a lot of power with this card on one turn. But I think in a vacuum, in terms of a event bonder in a deck that runs an event that is not punished for running the event because its marker card markers it. So far that we've seen, all the cards hit on it. And also a general Shimakai, where otherwise this would just be a 500 power, like 5,000 power Shimakai. You would probably run a 5,000 power Shimakai as an auxiliary level 1 in this deck anyway, in terms of cards that had like Sylvia or Cosmo on them.
Yeah, 'cause you're putting all your
considering-
eggs in one
So,
basket already.
This just
Yeah,
makes
you're
it
fishing
better.
at level 1.
Because it's just a card that has value the entire game past level 1, where it either helps you get reverses at any point in the game or bonds to this event that also helps you get reverses and searches a card from your deck. So, yeah, I like it.
In the context of this deck, it's like a B.
I'm going to give it a B- just because you can only play it in this deck. But
Yeah.
In
like, just
older sets,
generalize.
isn't there a Cosma that sits in background gives a power buff too?
I think so.
Probably.
There's a lot of
Pretty
old
sure it's
Cosma
the thing.
cards you can shove into this deck. Cosma's had some cards. Not too many. Across the past 2 sets. Cosma doesn't get too many cards.
Yeah, never even printed a Cosmo SP.
Yeah, but like,
Sadly.
I don't know. A normal Shimakai is like a C plus if it has a good effect. But like, in terms of this deck, like, I'm pretty sure every Sylvia Cosma deck would run 2 of this. Like,
Yeah.
1 to 2 of this, like, without a doubt. I think it's too much utility to not, like, squeeze into your deck somehow.
I mean, especially since you're looking for a reverse in a single lane at level 1.
I guess
that
C, yeah.
can potentially be weak.
C plus is probably more relevant.
Yeah, I don't want. I'm not trying to be biased since I'm like.
Yeah, no, I
trying to
think
build
you're
a
on the
deck and
money.
everything, but it's like I don't think Shimikais are like they're good, but you know whatever.
The fact that it's a bonder.
No, why doesn't the fucking event go to memory?
Because that would be too strong. It gives too much power. Rant for another day.
Whatever.
All right. Is this me? Yeah. Okay, so this Aqua backup. It's a 2,500 backup. When you use the backup, you may perform the following action. You may discard a card from your hand to the waiting room. If you do, look at the top card of your library, put it on top of your library or in the waiting room as many times as you want. It's infinite Leafa counter.
What?
Yes, this is infinite Leafa counter. If you have a big hand and you need to cancel, this is a card.
Yeah, you do have to neg an extra 1. You don't get anything into your hand. You just have to ditch 1, and then you can mill as many as you want.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't like filter like Leafa counter. This just negs you.
But that's the reason you run Leafa counter is to cancel.
Well, this is better at canceling, but doesn't go like filter your hand.
Well, I don't know though, because Leafa counter, right? Even if you reveal a climax, you're happy because like, oh yeah, I'm canceling. Sweet.
Well, this
But
is
even if you
this
don't
is
reveal a
surveil.
climax with Leafa, if you don't reveal a climax with Leafa, you draw ditch, which then gets. But then you eat the 3 damage or whatever, and then it's like, oh, I canceled on 3 now or whatever, right?
Well, yeah, I'm saying this is
If you wanted
surveil.
to guarantee with this, it'd be like, well, I guess I got to discard 1, 2, 3 cards. Like, how
Yeah,
much
I'm
do you
saying, but
get?
if you think about it, this is stockless cancel for your hand. Just pay 1, and if you ditch your whole hand, you could probably cancel. I think that's how we should look at it. This is a
I
last
guess
ditch
so,
card.
yeah.
I'm not saying it's great. I'm not
Level
saying it's
1
great.
Aqua combo potentially pluses a lot. I think it's potentially like +2 or 3.
Yeah, the level 1
The other
is
side,
potential
the
plus
original
3.
set.
So in Goddess deck, you probably have the hand to support this. If you like really want to cancel at level 2.
I forget the condition on Eris, but
Ditch 2.
Ditch
Yeah,
2,
like
yeah.
that's
I love
also
Ditch 2.
really eating up your hand. So that's like
I think it's a good Hail
Awkward.
Mary. If you have a slot, it's a good Hail Mary counter.
maybe you run this in like
as a
you know what?
one-of.
Maybe you run this in This seems like it'd be better in like red decks, where you kind of build up all this hand, but you don't really need it.
Because you have all the cards bouncing back to hand all the time, and
There's
you're
stuff
leaving a
bouncing
counter
back,
step.
or you're unioning every ambush unioning for 4 cards, or like I don't think the finishers are too stocking.
I think this card
And it
has
has-
merit. Yeah, I think this card has merit as like at the cost of your hand, you may cancel this attack.
Brian, in the deck Konosuba deck now, the Magic deck,
Mhm.
does the finisher go off of your hand at all?
If you're playing Powered Up Explosion, the cost there is pay 3, ditch 2 if you're veering toward that. Aside from that, unless you really have double union in the back row going, you don't have a massive hand, and you're setting up for level 3.
But
without
if you're
a
just
lot of
going
your
for
hand size.
normal Mega Means, they look at top 3 on play, add 1,
Yeah,
and then I don't think you have to discard for a cost, do you?
No,
you
that's
don't.
only
No,
for powered up.
Yeah, the normal finisher board that I look for in OG Konosuba is 1 Fumio, if necessary, 1 Megamine, and Powered Up Explosion.
That's a pretty
I-
normal finisher board.
I kind of like that you could just go for like maybe 2 Mega Means or 3 Mega Means, like the Claw Kickers, and then you don't really need your hand for anything, and you can kind of
Yeah, you
use
just
this
throw it
backup.
all away to counter.
I think maybe the red deck splashes this in because it's a backup. You don't even need to meet the color requirement.
And it's adventure, you can grab it pretty
Mhm.
easily. I think it's a good Hail Mary if you have a slot in your deck and you're just like, damn, I just like need to cancel sometimes, and you're like running enough door to like grab this at any point or enough salvage. This card's totally fine to throw in your deck. It's a true Hail Mary.
You know what else it is? It's a 2500 counter to defend your early play, which Konosuba doesn't really have right now. They kind of just get run over on the way back.
Well, you have them, you just didn't run them at all.
Well, yeah. Well, now's an excuse to run it.
Yeah, now it's an excuse to put in your deck because it has
Mhm.
a optional first effect that might just save your ass. So I don't know. This is kind of hard to evaluate. I'm just gonna give it a C plus, just because
Yeah,
like
that's
it
where I'm
could
at.
just like save your ass. But it's fine. All right.
I think I convinced Billy. I think he's thinking about putting it in his deck now.
I like it a little bit. My Aquas get ran over a lot.
Well, there's another card you can use to save your Aquas. We'll get to it soon.
Oh, well then maybe
yeah.
we'll look at that instead.
All right, we can move on.
All right, so we got Sylvia with the Tits 2.0 here. So early play, if you have 4 or more Demon King's Army or Cosmo characters, this gets -1 level in your hand. When this card is placed from your hand to the stage, you may put the top card of your clock into the waiting room. So early play healer. When this becomes reversed in battle, you may pay the cost. If so, which that cost is pay to discard a card from your hand to the waiting room, put 2 Demon King Army characters from your waiting room under this card face up as a marker in any order that you want. If so, choose one synthesizing with Mage Killer Sylvia in your waiting room and put it rested in the slot where this was. Put all markers underneath this all the markers underneath this and this underneath that card face up in the marker in any order. So that's 3 markers total for that card then?
Yeah, so it'd be
Well, maybe more.
Yeah.
So that's a real confusing effect. But like, so when this gets run over, you can pay to ditch a card, put 2 markers under this reverse Sylvia, and then take the actual finisher Sylvia.
put it in this card's place. And then
you
put
can
all
put it
3
in play
under.
on top of it, right?
Yeah.
So you get to stack 2 additional markers under this card, which might already have markers under it from other cards.
Yeah.
And then you just slap that bad boy on top from a graveyard. You get this and the 2 markers and whatever other markers you had.
1300 Sylvia could be a whole lot bigger.
Yeah.
There's already 13,000.
So if you had 3 markers on average, it would be a 14-5 because 500 times other. Notably, that really makes up for this card being a 3-9K. with nothing else. It is a 3/2 9K
Water
healer.
It does heal. That's something this deck really needed.
A 4 or more early play healer is, I think, exactly what the deck needed. Funny art. Gives your restander even more markers, although I don't know if it really needed them, but it is a way to summon the card from grave for the same cost as playing it from hand when this card dies. The exact same cost. And you can play it basically from your hand because you could ditch the 3/2, so like you don't have to worry about it going over refresh. So you're paying 2 and ditching a card, which is the exact same as playing it, and then summoning it from waiting room over this and getting 3 markers. So possible marker
yeah,
compression.
I guess it's like the it's kind of like the Gurren Lagann thing. It's like you get to conserve your markers, maybe going into your final deck.
Yeah, and if this card itself has markers, even though it's not gaining any abilities from it, you do get to put them under the next card. So if
Maybe
this card
it makes
gets
up a
hard
little
zone
bit for,
anti-changed, you lose them. But I mean, whatever.
Maybe
didn't
it makes
have
up
them
a
to
little
begin
bit
with.
for the finisher not having an enter effect, like a draw.
Yeah,
effect,
because
you're
it's a
just cheating
heal.
it in anyway.
Well, it's not really cheating. It's the same cost, but this does have a heal at level 2.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
You
I
could
mean,
go for the combo at level 2.
You can put the finisher in at level 2.
Yeah.
Dang, this is
And the
super
finisher's
dope.
hella tanky.
Honestly, this Sylvia
Yeah.
deck is surprising me.
Finisher is like, if you get this off and you put that down, it's like a 14/5 before anything else at level 2. Like, really fucking massive. I'm going to give it the C+ just because it's only for this deck, and it's just a 9K. Even though you quote-unquote want it to die, the fact that the Sylvia itself is already so big, I would rather it did anything at all.
Yeah, fair.
But healing at level 2 is fine. This is like a far better deck than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's very flavorful too. I think.
Yeah, Cosmo between the tits. Very, very
Cosmo
flavorful.
between the tits, she just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is what
Pretty
happens.
badass, yeah.
Alright, let's move on. Get moving through these. Who's this? Is it me
Aqua
again?
on a summer night. She's
Oh,
a little
it's
bit
me.
warm, so she has her
Yeah.
fan with her to cool her down. 500 power, frontal assist. We love that. Rest 2 adventure and or goddess characters. Choose one of your characters. They get 2,000 power for the turn. Ooh, first F.
I agree with that, too.
I don't know if it's an F. 2,000
not-
power is a lot, but
not
like,
great, though.
Frontal
F
500
plus?
assist kind of sucks.
yeah, D minus,
Not
D
brainstorming
minus,
that
F plus.
It's rest 2. Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, ugh, you know what? Nope, I'm gonna give it the F plus. I'm gonna F plus.
I don't
F plus
think
for useless goddess on it. I love Aqua.
Man, remember
Cute
getting
Aqua
F
art.
plus on your test and thinking, man, I got a plus. I did good.
I did a good
F's
job.
an F, dude.
I don't know. Can't relate. Next card.
Unexpected blow.
Got him.
On play, put the top 2 cards of your deck to waiting room. If you hit a level 0 or lower character, this can side attack without soul penalty till the end of turn. On attack, Twin Drive.
I really like this even more as the auxiliary twin driver I talked about, like the merits of an auxiliary twin driver when we talked about the 1-0, because this is a level 0.
Yeah.
So
don't have to...
if you want a level 0 auxiliary twin driver, note it is forced mill. So that's either good or bad, but you could
Yeah,
run
but-
this at lower counts.
I think the side attack without penalty is like actually kind of relevant though.
It's good
Like-
for the twin drive, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it's a level 0, so you can play it early, and then even going into like later stages of the game, like you can like side attack their big ass level 3, right?
Yeah, I like. I
Oh,
would
man, I'd
not be
hate crashing
mad.
I'd hate crashing this into a rem.
Dude,
Good thing I
like,
can just side attack it for free and twin drive my shit out.
if someone thought they were being like spicy or whatever, like depending on their build, and they slammed this card down, like I would not be upset to see
No.
someone play this card. Like I would totally understand why this card was in somebody's deck.
Dang, that Sylvia is 15,000 power. I wish I could side it.
Yeah,
Boom,
you
here
can.
go.
Yeah, for
Yeah, I think it's
I agree with that. I
perfectly
think it's a really
playable.
solid tech card.
Perfectly playable card. I really like auxiliary twin drive cards, provided they have decent other abilities, and this is fine. As a level 0. So
Mhm.
it's all about how much space you have. These are like the first things you cut, right? But
Yeah.
like
For sure.
otherwise,
Probably, but
Totally
it's like
fine.
it's definitely like if you have space for just one extra card.
or you need blue
you want a
fix,
blue
and you already
fix.
have Snotqua, like you just put this in your deck.
Yeah. This is
This or
maybe a
the
better
bomb.
one of than Snakwa, though.
This or the bomb, depending on like what how much blue you need, right? Or like what you're queuing into. If your local meta is like the bomb's doing nothing for you, you can like easily put this in that slot because it has value no matter what. Twin drive's always good.
And I feel like Snakwa's kind of like you want 3 or 4 of it, but if you just have like one
slot
for, like, one blue
and you need
card,
blue.
maybe this. Be
This
more
or like
impactful
Soul
on it.
Salvation or something. Like the
Yeah,
free
yeah, yeah.
fresh, something like that. Alright, moving on. I think this is me, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so it's anti-runner. Character opposite this can't move to another slot. Sylvia, when this is placed from hand to start, gains 1500 power for the turn. I wish it was like a normal oversize effect or like literally anything other than the 1500 power on play. I hate the second part of the card. The first part of the card has potential, and then the second line just doesn't do anything for the first line. Other than that, like, it trades with Armin. It trades. That's the problem. Trades.
Yeah.
Trades with center runner.
That's awkward. Yeah.
Kills
I do
Goblin
not
Slayer.
like this, Sam. I am the D.
Yeah, I think I gotta agree with that.
The worst part is I think you might be forced to play this in the Sylvia deck.
I think there are better cards. I would play you'd play like 4 of Snipe Cosmo in that deck.
What if it
I
had
get
500
it,
more power, Carmen? Would you give it a C?
Yeah, I think I'd give it a C if it hit 4K.
If you got the 4K,
Because it could
I think,
hit over the things in English, the 3,500 center runners, which I think we've talked about now.
Or
Those are like
Futabas too.
3,500 center runners and Futabas are like some of the best field pluses that you could be playing right now, I think, in English. Like just in general, based on the field. Although, God, no, Flicker makes Futaba worse. No, Flicker makes Futaba so bad. Oh
What's
no.
Flicker? It's still 2020.
Cheeto. Flicker
It doesn't exist yet. 2020.
Oh, you're right. It does not exist. All right. Yeah, we can move on. Next card. But yeah, it's just like if it went to 4K, I would say it was a little better. But
Alright, so Marginal Retreat Sylvia. During attack phase, you cannot return characters from your waiting room to your hand via your own card effects. At the start of your opponent's attack phase, if this card is in the front center slot, you may move it to an empty slot in the front row.
what the fuck?
That's not bad.
So it runs from center. 3K run from center.
Oh, that
Runs
that's
to
weird.
left or right. From the center, and it's 3K. I think that's fine.
That's,
Right?
3K is big enough to like ambush something at level.
You're what?
Level
Stock
0,
Soul. Stock Soul
Blue gate.
Pants.
It stops you from hitting your blue gates.
No, it doesn't. Characters.
Oh, you're right.
Return your
Never mind.
characters from
It's
your waiting room.
not really it's
Zero
not a
drawback.
for you.
Zero
It seems like
drawback.
a real good opener. This seems like the opener you want to go for.
That's like a drawback, like just to get it to 3K. I think like this is like a balancing drawback. I think this is fine. This is like totally okay.
Honestly,
away
C
from
plus
things
because
like
you can only
Futaba.
run it in that deck, but like well, no,
I
you
think
could run it
more
in
of
another
this than
deck.
the previous card.
absolutely.
Oh, 100%. You don't run the
And
other
now
card
I
at
don't know
all.
if this is a 4 of because you need to like
I think it is only
maybe
because
clogs, but maybe you just really want the strong opener.
maybe you run 7 field pluses or not field pluses because like I think you run like 4 Snipe Cosma in this Sylvia Cosma deck because like that's like one of the best Cosma cards that you can play aside from like the pay 1 top check 3 for a climax Cosma, pay 1 ditch 1 top check 3 for a climax. So like you probably run like 4 Snipe Cosma, like 2 to 3 of this depending on how many deck slots you have. But this is fine. Or you could like put it the other way. Maybe you run like 3 Snipe Cosma for this, depending on like what you're playing into.
I think probably 3 of this because like
The Snipe Cosma is pretty
It
good.
goes in the center row. Like after playing a bit with Review, it's like if everything wants to be in the center spot, it's kind of awkward. You can get cloggy.
But yeah, this just runs from center to left to right, so it gives you more options than just well, maybe it doesn't really. Slightly.
More options than like an Armin runner.
I guess.
The illusion of choice.
Yeah, I think it's an illusion, like, because it's either on the side or in the center, where this is either it's in the center or on the side. It just, like, it gives you an additional slot, so it's slightly better?
No, it's balanced, right? Armin's 3,500. He only runs to center. This is a free runner, or like a mill runner is like 2,500.
Yeah, it's
And
not
can
unbalanced
run
at all, yeah.
Anywhere, but it can be anywhere. This
Yeah.
has to be in the center, but it can run anywhere.
Anywhere, yeah.
So it's 500 stronger, not 1,000 stronger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's fine.
Pretty good. Let's move on.
Alright, moving on.
Crying Aqua. Oh no. She's sad. She got scratched by a cat, maybe. This card cannot side attack. When it's placed from hand to stage, mill 2 cards. Not optional. Gains 1,000 power per adventure or goddess character. I hate it.
Yeah, this is one of the worst auxiliary level ones I've ever seen, actually.
Why would you play this over the really good Aqua with her shiny hand that
Yeah.
twin drives? Sucks.
Or the other twin drive Aqua that gives 1,500 power on play. Also worse than that. A D- only because it's like free mill 2, but like, you know what? I think that's F plus actually. It's not D-. Oh no, I popped Chrome Dev Tools. We don't want that. Plus. Alright, moving on. Brian.
Burning Out Sylvia. 2/1 4K. Continuous, your other character in the front row center slot gains the following ability. This card cannot be chosen by your opponent's effects, so she can potentially give like your finisher or something untargetable. All of your other Demon King's army characters or characters with Cosma in name get 1,000 power. She makes your already large finisher or your weak early play a little bit stronger. That's an act ability. Choose one of your Demon King's army characters or characters with Cosma in name until the end of your opponent's next turn. That character gains 2,500 power. Yeah, to the end of your opponent's next turn, and that's pay 1, discard a card.
So potentially infinite cross-turn power based on the number of stock in hand you have. And then it's a hexproof global 1,000.
I like it.
Gives hexproof to center. It's really good for the early play because the early play's dinky as shit. Gains the fact that like if you put your early play in the center, then it gets run over, and then you put the 3/2 down prematurely. It has hexproof. So even if you're at level 2, the only way your opponent can clear it is by bombing it, because there's no way even the biggest attackers can get over it if you change it. Because I think like it would have to be Slime with a climax could get over it. I think, because like the Cromwell or the Kuro gets to 14 by himself, and then they'd have to have climax to 15. But even then, it would be you'd be at 14.5, I think, or you'd be at 15.5. So even then, they'd have to bomb it at level 2. So yeah, you run 2 of this in the Cosma.
Yeah, I
Sylvia build. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I really like the global 1,000 effect. Probably a little bit better than like a frontal like level assist or like 2,000 to level 3s. I just like that it kind of covers all your bases. And
yeah,
because good players have ways to split you off of your frontal assist. Like they have an uncanny way to
get around it somehow.
Like make you choose which one you want to reverse because they have something strong in both wings or something.
Yep.
I like them a lot better with standby. I think they're really good standby targets, actually. But
oh yeah, for sure. Big fan of global 1,000s and standby, but this is fine. I think you run like 1 to 2 of this.
Yeah, no, I think the hexproof is the most important part of this card. Just
yeah,
for the fact that it stops your characters from being winded or anti-change, so you don't lose your markers.
Yeah, it preserves. That's the big thing. Is like if you like crash your early play healer just to change it, it makes the play a lot safer, which is what I like for the deck. C plus again, only because it's in that deck, but like you definitely run this in that deck
for sure,
easily. All right. This is the card I wanted to talk about. Okay, so this is the 2/1 Aqua Assist that I've been talking about for like the entire rest of the video. Level 3 or higher characters in front of this gain 2k. They're really good for protecting early plays. Act ability, rest this. Choose one of your characters, and for the turn, that character gains the following ability. When the battle opponent of this becomes reversed, you may put that character on the bottom of your opponent's library. So, really good for removing your opponent's early plays with Encore, whether that is the mirror or in the slime matchup, as well as helping your Aqua finisher set clean cards to the bottom of your deck, because this is going to be on your field, bottom of your opponent's deck, because this is going to be on your field going into your finisher turn. Really strong support for early plays in general. Union will sit at 12-5, and Mesmerizing Water Goddess will swing in for 13 and sit at 11. So it makes Mesmerizing protectable, and it makes Union like a bitch and a half to kill. Because she's also removing your opponent's characters. Note this is like even better in English because you could like hard remove Yo from field without having to burn some form of hard anti-change on her. You can just do it incidentally. So, you know, or at least threaten it, you know, make them burn the counter when it's bad for them. Extremely, extremely strong support card because Konosuba spams early plays at level 2 already, and one of them is a stock healer, so it's already stock efficient. Playing a Union plus a Mesmerizing with this in the back row for 4 is like really, really debilitating to a lot of sets. And it's one of the things that's going to keep Konosuba relevant, I think, in a DAO meta, which is what we're going to see. Yeah, I think this goes in every Konosuba deck, like straight up, that's running double early play. Like, I think I'm going to give it the plus for that alone. I think this goes in every single deck that runs Union and Mesmerizing in the same list. Like, without a doubt. Like, you make space for this somehow.
Yep.
Card's extremely good.
I said it better.
Next, Billy.
Okay, 2-1, Sharp Eyes, Sylvia. When this card attacks for the turn, this gains plus X power. X is equal to the total number of Demon King Army characters or Cosmo characters in its name times 1,000. So basically the same thing as killing early plays for level 3, but slightly different effect.
Yeah, it gets up to 12.
12-5? No, 11-5. Other.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, hate it. Actually,
Yeah.
this is a card you This is a card you don't play. Even in the Cosmo Sylvia deck, you don't play this card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
11-5 is really.
I think you would rather not even try to answer your.
Access to the early play kills?
No, because like
blue yellow, right?
Yeah, but it's like it only goes to a maximum of 11.
Yeah.
It goes to 11-5 on its own. Global puts it to 12-5.
But then you're paying 2.
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah, I think it's
I feel
really
like
bad.
You want to be putting in the Sylvia deck. You want to be putting your early play in the middle slot, so you get the shroud on it. But
would you pay an additional 1 versus like just crashing and saying whatever? I don't give a shit. I'm investing in my center.
I guess it gives you like some counterplay though, right? Because if you want to be putting your big Sylvia in the middle, so shroud it up.
There's gotta be a Cosmo.
Your opponent's probably going to put their early play in a wing, so at least you can play this to a wing.
There's gotta be a Cosmo that's worth playing over this, and like somewhere. There's gotta be something.
Probably. I mean, I'll give it like a D just for the fact that maybe with the deck it synergizes because you want to have your main Sylvia in the middle row, but
yeah,
it's not that good.
No.
Pretty garbage. All right,
like if there was ever an option to have like any sort of yellow, like bottom decker bomb or something, or anti-change,
you would play that over that. All right, we talked about this already. We can just kind of blow through it. 1/1 event, rest one of your standing Cosmo or Demon's King character. Search your deck for a Demon's King Army or Cosmo character. Put it in your hand. Give one of your characters 3,000 power. It's fine. You probably play 2 or 3 of it in the deck to like just kind of help you win boards since all your shit hits on it and it gets you into your shit. It's like a drop searcher, I guess. It gives power. When you draw it, I don't know, like
you have the bond do it as well.
Yeah, the fact that you have the bond and your other card hits on it that cares about top checks makes this okay.
To be honest, it feels like maybe a little unnecessary though.
Yeah, like I feel
Sylvia
like you start cutting this.
It absurdly pumps itself, but
Yeah, I mean, if you're running this, you're playing it solely for the fact that
But it searches.
Yeah, you're playing the bonder to it as well,
Mm-hmm.
just for the filter or whatever.
All right, let's turbo through these promos. Lightning round. I'll read them and we say what it is. When this card attacks, it's darkness. You may place the top card of your deck in the waiting room. If that card is a climax, you draw a ditch. Same effect as Remriki. When this card becomes reverse, if your card's a battle opponent is level 0 or lower, place that character into stock. If you did, place the bottom card of your opponent's stock in the waiting room. So it's Remriki filter and a stock bomb, 1000 power.
This card is fine.
I like it worse because actually, I like this a lot worse because not a lot worse. C- only because the Aqua bomb exists. I think the Aqua bomb is objectively better than this card. And if you don't need level fix and you want to run a bomb, you would never run this solely because it's 1000 versus 500 power.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right, dude. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking you stock change them, but
yeah, like
you'll be too beefy.
the 500 power is, I think, what makes it. The fact that there's an easily splashable 500 power bomb with a relevant effect makes this card worse. All right, moving on. 3K Megumin constant. This card cannot side attack. At the beginning of your Anchor step, if you have no other rested characters in the front row, you may rest this card. Worse than Futaba.
You have swimsuit and
Swimsuit Futaba. This is fine, but like this is a box topper. There's no reason to play this. Megumin waifu only, I guess. But then you'd run swimsuit. No, yeah, it sucks. All right, 3-2 Union box topper. Early play if you have 2 or less climaxes. When this plays from hand to stage, look at X, add 1. That is Maho and Adventurer. Yeah, Magic Adventurer. Top check X. Billy sees a Union card.
Billy giving it the S. Oh, it is Union.
It's Union.
It is a good card though. It's a really good card.
Realistically, no reason to play this with the combo of playing powered up into normal Megumin.
Yeah.
I think maybe a one of in the 8 door list where you don't have a way. No, because that's not true. You have Kome.
Well, is there merit to this because the condition is more free? Like you don't have to run Swimsuit Megami, or you don't have to run like.
Well, no, because then you just run the Union early play. I'll give it a C just because of early play.
Wait, what's the other Union early play?
On 2 or less early play. 2 or less early play. Heal 10-5 hand encore.
Oh, the broken one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
This is fine just because it's a 2 or less early play with top check X. Like
it's fine.
Union waifu, I guess, to like get into your climax to do nothing because there's no Union.
No, if
finisher.
you're Union waifu, you just play 4 of that other one that heals.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's not great, but I guess it's fine. All right, last card. 2-1, 7-5, Aqua. When this card attacks a level 3, it's a 13-5 blue early play killer.
It's just that Sylvia bit better.
Wait, no, this is worse than the Megumin is 13, right?
Which one? Calling for Teacher?
Calling for Teacher is 13?
I think so.
Calling for Teacher is infinitely better than this card, but you have to be in red. So for Goddesses, if you want to play a killer...
What's that card? What's the Teacher card? Hot for Teacher Megumin, what's it do?
Yeah, Hot for Teacher Megumin is it's a 2-1-13. When it gets a reverse of a character level 2 or higher, you get to pay 1 salvage. It's like really good for setting up your finisher turns.
500 less power, but it has a...
But it's also red, and this is blue. So this is like for Goddesses. So yeah, just a C. I think it's like a fine option.
I can dig it, yeah.
All right, so that's Konosuba. Closing thoughts. I'm sure you all thought we were going to complain a lot more, but now that Data Live is the thing, you can hear us complain about that later. So
I think this new Konosuba set brings a lot to the
a lot of variety.
A lot of variety to the table.
Sure.
Yeah,
definitely adds a lot of much needed support for the Darkness and Aqua decks. You have this cool Sylvia and Cosma deck to make use of some of your other old Cosma cards.
We'll finally see more than just like the fucking Union Stock Soul deck over and over and over again, right? Like,
Yeah, specifically too, like the combos in this set all seem pretty splashable. Like the Megumin level 1 combo and the Aqua level 1 combo.
yeah, I
There's a
feel
lot
like
of
Smash
the
those, I think.
Aqua level 1, the Megumin level 1, and the Aqua level 3 are some of the most like splashable combos that you
The
could
Darkness
play.
one too.
Darkness, yeah. Well, that requires a ton of merge pieces, but still, like
Well,
you can
yeah.
build a deck based on it, right? Like,
Mhm.
like it allows you to like build greedier, more varied lists. Than you might have been able to previously, or not might have, for sure was able to previously. So notably, I think that Konosuba movie, this is my own personal opinion, is in a post DAO world one of the only decks that could, like, sets that could probably keep up. So if you were on the fence about investing in Konosuba like movie and you have other Konosuba cards, I would do it over like just like going buying a DAO playset or something in terms of like hyper competitively.
Sylvia is just too good of a counter to
Mhm. Yep.
Karoom.
All Sylvia. But yeah, I think that's basically it, right? Anybody have anything else they want to say about Konosuba? Brian, Billy, as big Konosuba players, I'm sure you guys are hyped, right? Wow. Riveting response. But yeah. Wait, what happened?
Are we done? I got like
Yeah, I think
booted out of Discord.
Yep.
I asked Brian and Billy a question, and then I got cut off.
Yeah, same. I was like, "Are we
Yep.
doing anything?" Then it got cut off. I'm like,
Brian, Billy, I'm like, I'll ask the question again. Let me count myself in. I'll cut it off. 3, 2. Brian, Billy, you guys play Konosuba a lot. I'm sure you guys are hyped for this set, right?
extremely.
Yeah.
Got a case on the way.
Mm-hmm. I got a playset out of your
Union
case, so. Union waifu. Finally enough cards
Yeah,
for
all
pure
40 of them,
Union.
or 50 of them.
All right, but yeah, I think that's it.
I got a Sylvia playset in that case also.
Sylvia plays.
Don't forget me. All your commons and uncommons.
Oh, yep. All yours.
But
That
yeah,
nice $5 bill with your name on it.
Big money.
but yeah, I think that's it. Pittsburgh Weiss Schwarz signing off. We'll see you guys in the next one.